You probably clicked on this video because you struggle with lust addiction. Let me tell you, about 70% of men and 30% of women struggle with lust addiction on the regular. You probably did a bunch of different things, like going to church services, telling somebody, trying to pray it away, and none of it worked. Let me tell you, I tried to do that too. And I roughed it out for a long time, and it didn't work. But now I found a secret sauce, and I'm 1 year and 2 months sober. First, I'm going to tell you my story, and I'm going to tell you the essentials, and I'm going to tell you the secret sauce that set me free. My story starts when I'm about 7 years old. I started masturbating. I didn't really realize that what I was doing was wrong until in 5th grade when I started watching porn. And 6th grade it got really bad, and yeah, I was cooked, honestly. So I was just stuck in this pattern and just like trying to figure out a way to get out of it with little success. 7th grade, I got 3 months of sobriety. Same with 9th and 10th. But besides those 3 months of sobriety, I was just stuck in this cycle of trying to stop and not being able to over and over again, just feeling completely helpless and lost in it. I came to a breaking point in July of 2024. I tried to get sober. I tried a new strategy, a new thing. It didn't work. I got on my knees. I cried. I prayed, Lord, what do I need to do to get rid of this? And I heard one word, and that word was accountability. And accountability wasn't what solved my issue, but it's what led me on a journey to getting sober. When I heard that word, I started taking initiative. After a few days, I dragged my friends into a group chat. I was like, hey, we're going to do this. Hold each other accountable. Let's go. Well, we did about 2 weeks of that, and it went terribly. So I called one of my mentors. I was like, hey man, we need a lot of help in this group, and I think you know something about it. Turns out he did, and he knew a lot about it. He knew about this group called Monday Nights, and he read this book called Numb and Known. Anyways, that's what has the secret sauce. Let me tell you about the secret sauce in a second after we get through the essentials. The essentials are things like soaking yourself in the Word, submitting it to God, switching your phone from an alarm clock at night, realizing your patterns, what makes you stumble, what makes you fall, what are those things that happen before you act out, And it could be things like working out or cold showers. For me, that's what helped for a little bit, those little 3 months. It was just the essential things, or like getting enough sleep, or things like that, taking care of yourself and your own body, having self-respect, or whatever it may be, loving Jesus, keeping your eyes on him. But sometimes that doesn't always solve the problem. So let's go over the secret sauce. The start to the secret sauce is 1, mindset change. Porn is not a problem, it is a solution. It is a solution to the 3 things that we face: passivity, isolation, and pain. We face these all the times in different ways. When we isolate ourselves is when we are struggling. And whatever it's an emotional struggle, a sin struggle, or a conflict, relational struggle, whatever it is, it's going through something alone and not letting anybody else in on it, but trying to do it yourself, white knuckle it. I can do it myself. I can take care of it, whatever that looks like. That's isolation, and that is a sign of a weak, emotionally immature person to live that way. It's a very hard way of living, and it doesn't get you anywhere, and it leads to actually more sin, which is not good. So let me give you a quote that goes along with that. In the book Numb to Known, it says, you cannot be unconditionally loved until you first shared your condition. How are people supposed to love the real you if you constantly withholding the real you from them? You're not being transparent, you're not being honest, and most of all, you're not actually being vulnerable. And all of those 3 things mean different things. Vulnerability is laying your junk out completely on the table and letting everyone else see it. And it just sucks. It doesn't look good. It's not pretty at all. But it's essential for what you need to overcome this. It's a part of the process. And it's a process. And in this process, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. If you used to act out every single day, but then you go from acting out once a day to once a week, huge progress. And it's not perfection, but it's progress. And that's all it's about. Number 2 is passivity. Passivity is a huge one. For me, when I was passive, it would be with just like school and stuff. I would just not do schoolwork. When you're passive, you say phrases like, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, don't worry about that. And kind of not paying attention to the things that you need to pay attention to, and not being intentional with the things that you need to be intentional with. So I would let all that schoolwork pile up, and then when I had to actually face it, then I became overwhelmed. And so then you have to dig on that. Why do you feel overwhelmed? Why do you isolate? Why do we do these things? It's a process of digging and figuring it out. Number 3, which is the biggest one and the one that caused me to stumble the most, was actually past triggers and pain. When you have a lot of pain in your life that you don't know about, and it's in your subconscious mind, then it'll drive you forever. And you'll have no clue why you do what you do, but you'll just call it fate. This could be emotional pain, or it could be traumatic emotional experiences. I've had both, and they both leave you with scars and damage and healing that can only be healed by the Father and how you let Him into it all. A tool to figure out these triggers and pain. With this pain comes along with triggers. This pain gets brought up by a trigger. You can use this acronym called HALTS BS, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired, sad, bored, and stressed. And there's certain things like stressed and overwhelmed, which aren't actual emotions that happen. Really, all this is becoming a process of emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent of what you're feeling. Because honestly, you might be a dude and be like, I'm just horny. Could be true, but most likely if it's an addictive pattern that you can't stop, there's way more underneath the surface that you actually need to find out. There are 4 core beliefs of a sex addict. Number 1 is, I'm a bad person who is unworthy of love. This is just not true. Like, everyone makes mistakes, but you're not a bad person really worthy of love. So go and write and journal how you feel that way, if you do. And if you don't, take a deeper look and see if you do. Number 2 is, if anyone really knew me, they wouldn't love me. This is just not true. Jesus, the man who knew you top to bottom, formed you in the womb and put you on this earth, came to the earth 2,000 years before you were born and died on the cross for you. Never tell me or anyone that I can't have the privilege of knowing you because you don't feel like I'll love you. We've all made mistakes. We've all done terrible things. But His love and grace covers our sin. So dig on why you feel that way and figure out why that false belief is there. Number 4, sex is my greatest need. I feel like anybody who's struggling with this would feel like sex is their greatest need. How would you not feel like sex is your greatest need if you hold it in this high of a position and you're addicted to it? It's like, it completely makes sense. But it's like, people who think that sex is love, sex is connection, sex is all these things. But what we actually need to do is rewire our brains and think of what is actually sex. What did God intend for sex? Because what sex is a beautiful way to connect with your wife. And it is a representation and almost a metaphor of how Christ will be connected and one with the church in heaven, which is a beautiful thing. And it's the most vulnerable thing that you could do. It's the most thing that can connect you the most, but it is to be shared in marriage. It's not for emotional comfort. It's not to distract yourself. It is purely for connection with your spouse. If you and your spouse are not good, if you're not in a good emotional spot and she's not in a good emotional spot, then there should be no sex between y'all. I'm just the kid who's not married. What do I know? Anyways, the consequences that this actually has on us, porn and masturbation, lust, whatever it is really bad. First of all, it makes you super selfish. When you're isolating, you're telling yourself you don't need other people. And when you just turn to porn and masturbation for comfort and not to God or not for other people in your lives, then you're saying, I can do it myself, which is a super selfish thing. And then there's no connection or relationship. It's just you and everybody else happens to be in the world with you. It's this take it into your own hands kind of way of living. But when you can let other people in, let them see your weakness and let them love on you where you're at, where you are, your life will be completely changed. You will find healing and let all these things happen. You need to let the God in. Let God see where you are. Let God see where you were. Ask God where He was in past pain. I know for me, a big thing for me when I'm talking about pain, all these memories of my childhood. I have memories of the first time I ever felt insecure. I was in my 5th grade class and these kids started judging my haircut and I was wrecked. I went home and shaved my head almost bald. I went buzz because I had like this long curly hair. I shaved it off the next day. Anyways, this is a really fast way of explaining a lot of information. I'm advising y'all, listen to the Money Nights podcast, read the Numb to Gnome book. It'll change your life and you will find freedom. Take your best friend, let him know everything that's going on in your life. Tell him your deepest, darkest secret so you can be known. And when you're known, then you will feel unconditional love because you're unconditionally known. You know? They know you and they can't do anything about it anymore. They do. And they're going to love you still because that's what a real friend would do. Make sure you tell the right person. That's important. But please don't keep living your life saying, I can do it myself. I'll wait another day. I don't feel anything. You're numbing out. Give yourself some time to feel something. Try just like use those essential processes to get you to get a week sober. And once you get a week sober, dig into what you're feeling. Start naming your feelings. I feel angry right now. I feel alone right now. I feel sad right now. Whatever it is, name it. Let somebody in on it. You know? Ask where God is in it. You gotta journal. You gotta ask where he's at. You gotta spend time with him. It's just the essentials, but also it's way deeper. I hope this video served you well. I hope you got more information than you had before. I'll probably make another one in a few months from now, explaining more in a better way. But for right now, this is what I felt like I could do and give y'all. I'm still working on my own process. I'm a month and a year sober. I still fantasize. It's something I'm working on. There's a lot of things, you know. I believe in y'all. I believe y'all can do this. Y'all got this. You are amazing. You're able. I pray that God's hand is on you. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Comment down below if you have any questions. Like and subscribe. It would mean a bunch to me. You're the best. I love you. Jesus is King.